What's good? I know I'm like insanely late to the whole situation, but I just feel like, I'm just gonna talk about it. Like at this point, you think about Kanye West, you think about this anti-Semitic, you know, Twitter meltdown, D1 crash out. Number one, and number two, think of a musician. Like the shit that this guy has been saying is crazy. Like, I mean, at this point, I don't even think that he has a PR team anymore. I feel like he's fired his entire PR team and it's just him. He runs this shit. Like, look at his merch store. This dude was putting up fucking Nazi symbols on T-shirts. This dude was talking about free Diddy. He was working with Diddy's son, bro. This dude was blatantly supporting P Diddy. Now, I mean, he chalked it up to it being rage bait, but you know what I mean? For real, you did all that shit for rage bait. Listen, bro, that's that's the best excuse you can come up with. I don't know. I don't buy it. The thing about the tweets, like like I don't know, man. I just think it's just so it's insensitive, it's distasteful, and it's just lame. Now I don't fall under the party, the particular group of people, the percentage of people that is affected. I'm not gonna look at his tweets and be like extremely pissed off. When I look at the tweets, I'm not getting mad. I just feel sad for the guys. Like you're really selling your career to do this shit. Like
Are you fucking retarded?
I don't know if you know this is a social experiment or whatever. You're trying to gather hype for your album, but I feel like if anything, it's just killing hype for his next album. Now, like this isn't like 2015, 2017, where it was, where people thought making Nazi jokes was funny. I'm a fucking Nazi, hail Hitler. You know what I mean? People thought it was like this isn't the fucking 2000s where some people may find it funny. There's an audience for that so-called dark humor. I'm not trying to say you should be more woke in 2025, but there's some shit that you gotta leave in the past. Like if I don't know, man. I didn't even bother reading the replies, but I mean, obviously, there's going to be some people mad about the situation, like, people directly affected or they know some the family members have been affected by the Holocaust. But to me, as an outsider, it's just lame. Like, the shit is it's not even like rage bait anymore. It's just for real. Like you're watching No Glaze, right? If I'm watching an extremely successful former, right? Former musician flop. Like this is the bad ending. Normally I'd be like, oh, what a retard. You know what I mean? This guy, look at what he's saying. Oh, what a dumbass. But it's so lame where it can't. I can't even force up a reaction. I don't understand how, as a die-hard Kanye fan, you can still defend this man's actions. Like this whole he made graduation meme was probably alright back in the days when he was still dropping Vultures 1, which to this day I feel like, I'm still standing on business. I still feel like it's a okay album. It's listenable. It's overhated. The thing with Vultures 1 is I feel like people were just hating on him for the political standpoint instead of listening to the music. It was, to me, I still believe it's overhated. Now, the whole Anthony Fantano video, let me just talk about it real quick. To me, I just feel like, if he was gonna make a review on the music, he should have just strictly talk about the music instead of turning it political. Because, you know, your channel is reviewing music. If you want to talk about the political aspect, you have a different channel for that. You know what I mean? So, I mean, that's just what it is. But, it's in the fucking past. But Vultures 2 was dog shit. And that's where I felt like was the downfall, right? And like I said, I don't know if he's doing all this to generate hype for the next album, but I just don't think he needs to. You know what I mean? Like he's Kanye fucking West. He doesn't need to generate this much rage baity, quote unquote rage bait hype for his next album. He could just fucking surprise, drop a trailer, drop the album, and you're good. You don't need to be doing all this shit. You're losing more fans than, I mean, you're getting like that's the thing with the whole Taylor Swift situation. Like back then, right in the BC era, he was getting eyes on it. I was like, yo, that's crazy, bro. Ain't no way he did that. When this dude completely disregarded Taylor Swift, talk about Beyonce and whatever. But we're used to this shit. You know what I mean? If anything, Kanye is known for saying some controversial ass shit before his album rollouts. But I feel like it gets to a point where the shit you say can go a bit far right now. Before this whole drama happened, I was on the side with Kanye. I was like, man, fuck Pommy, right? The French singer. I really want her to clear the sample. Because who doesn't want to listen to highs and lows, right? Everybody's heard that snippet. Who doesn't want to listen to that shit? I was like, man, fuck Pommy, man. She should clear the sample. But now, I'm on her side. You know, call me a fake one. You can say I switched up or whatever, but be real. Be for real with yourself. After what has happened, who wants to work with Kanye? You know, I could probably count with one hand the amount of artists that would still willingly work with Kanye West. Because at this point, he's just committing career suicide. I feel like not even, like, let's say he released Graduation 2, right? Like, the greatest fucking album of all time. He released that shit. You know, like, it make you nut on first listen. The music's so crazy, it makes you start floating. I feel like even if he released that, right? Topping the Weeknd's album, people are still gonna shit on him. Being on whatever spectrum he's on doesn't give you an excuse to, make it stupid comments like that. I feel like it's a mix of both where he already had the intention of saying all the shit that he said, but the mental illness just took it up a notch, which, like I said, is still not an excuse. You know, being mentally ill doesn't give you an excuse to be a jackass. You can be a jackass, you can be an asshole, right? And still not be mentally ill. But you can be mentally ill and not be an asshole. But you can be both. Like, two things can be true at the same time. And in this scenario, I feel like that is the example of what Kanye West is. He's a mentally ill asshole. Instead of getting more eyes on what he's saying, I feel like people just don't, they just sort of toss him to the sidelines. Like, I remember when I just couldn't stop seeing Kanye on my feed. Kanye interviews, Kanye interview, Kanye said this, Kanye said that. Now, I just don't care anymore. I don't think what he says deserves anyone's time anymore, right? Like, we've heard this dude out enough to the point where it's like, you need to shut the fuck up, you know what I'm saying? So yeah.
Căn nhà tranh mai lá làm sao có giá được trăm cây vàng nè, có mấy lời bay lá có mang thiếp về ngay cho chàng.